Hello, this is the Growth League podcast. My name is Caleb Clark, and my mission for this show is pretty simple. It's to learn from marketers on how they're playing the great game of marketing leadership. Their ideas, experiences, perspective, wins and losses, and the playbook that they've established over time. Listen, there's more than one way to lead a marketing team and a marketing function. So if you're a VP, a CMO, director, or someone aspiring to fill one of these marketing leadership roles in the future, tune in to learn from some of the best in the business.
You can't be a marketing leader in a silo or in a vacuum.
Okay.
You have to tap into every resource you have. Marketing is an interesting industry, right? Because everybody that we're with, our community, the public, we're all absorbed with marketing, right? So there's even marketing opinions that you're gonna hear opinions whether you want to or not. So I think the most important thing is identify those voices that you need to be hearing, that you need to be tapping into, and I feel like in my role, I'm very lucky.
I'm here with my guest, Adam Vasalio, the CMO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. Obviously, an unbelievable organization doing unbelievable things. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Caleb, thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
Now, first time at the gathering?
Second time in the gathering. Yeah.
Okay. So we're here in beautiful Banff, Alberta. It's a little bit rainy outside, but we're all cozy in here. So. Adam, almost 6 years at the organization. Before we get into that, can you give us a bit of a preview, not a preview, but a rundown of your journey as a marketing leader? What brought you to where you are today?
Yeah. I took a route that is maybe less traveled, especially early in my career. I had started as a TV reporter. It was my first job out of college. And, those communications degrees work in a variety of different ways. And I was like, I'm going to
General studies.
I'm going to try this television route. And I quickly realized that I loved telling stories, but I didn't love telling those stories.
Right.
And so I took the lowest level marketing job that I could find just to get my foot in the door somewhere. And I joined an organization called HSN, which is also known as the Home Shopping Network. Okay. And I started there. And I started, when you started as a brand specialist, you're running product from one photo shoot to the other, or you're making sure that the copy in an email is correct. And I was actually there for 13 years, and I moved up the ladder within the organization. I had a lot of great mentors along the way to help me get there. But I went from a brand marketing specialist to a brand manager, senior manager, director of brand marketing, and then actually ended my time there as the director of new business development, oversaw multicultural marketing and entertainment marketing.
Right.
But the most important thing I did in my time there at HSN was I became a big brother. So Big Brothers Big Sisters of Tampa Bay held a volunteer recruitment session at the HSN campus. They were recruiting our employees. And I went at the urging of many of my team members. I was just a young guy, and they said, you should go, you'd be a great mentor. And I remember thinking, I don't know if I have what it takes to be a mentor. But I went, I signed up, I got matched with my first little brother, Adrian. He was in the 6th grade. We were matched from the time he was in 6th grade until he graduated high school. And, my passion became the mission. Seeing all of the great work, Adrian changed my life, helped me become a better person. And we're friends to this day. He has 2 kids. But it showed me the power of Big Brothers Big Sisters and the power of investing in the empowerment of young people. And so one day out of the blue, while working at HSN, I got a call from the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America recruiting me to join the national office. So I joined Big Brothers Big Sisters of America as the Vice President of Development and Marketing. So I was overseeing fundraising and marketing. Yeah. But I've now become the Chief Marketing Officer. I've had this role for the last about two and a half years. And it's just been a great journey, and one that allows me to support my passion for mentorship and a cause I hold near dear to my heart.
So it was an easy decision for you.
Easy decision. It was probably the easiest interview that was conducted, but you have to make sure you go through the process.
So as a well-tenured marketing leader now, obviously, and you've experienced different flavors of what that means. You've been establishing your playbook over time. I'm going to start actually with this one, and what scares you the most? What causes you the most pain internally or fear in this game, in this function, in this role?
Mm-hmm. First and foremost, I frequently get asked, what do you, like on a daily basis, like, what is a typical day for this chief marketing officer of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America? And for me, Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, we have founded in 1904. So you have this great legacy brand, carrying forward mission that's been, really built on helping young people with access and empowerment through their mentoring relationships. But as the Chief Marketing Officer, we have 230 Big Brothers Big Sisters offices across the United States. Collectively, they serve over 5,000 communities across the country. And day in and day out, they're doing the work of matching young people in the community whose parent or guardian has come to a local Big Brothers Big Sisters office and said, I think my child, my young person, could benefit from a mentor in their life. And then they, in partnership with the national office, we recruit those mentors every day, caring positive adults to become mentors in their community. And so, there's a constant, when you're in this role, there's a constant questioning of yourself, not questioning, but ongoing analysis of, am I doing enough to empower these local agencies, these local Big Brothers, Big Sisters across the country with the resources that they need to execute the mission, the most important part of the mission, which is matching one young person, which we call a little, right, with a caring adult mentor, which we call a big.
So it's that burden of responsibility, maybe.
A little bit of burden of responsibility, and our across the country, about 7, of our current bigs. So those are the mentors in our organization. 75% of them are under the age of 40.
Interesting.
And what does that mean, right? That means that Gen Z, every generation that comes after it, is the next group of our mentors. And so making sure that our marketing channels are diverse, that we're maximizing our digital presence, these wonderful devices that are in our pockets that are constantly connected to us. I think that might be not the fear factor, but the place that is constantly focused on is how are we going to reach these new audiences, these new generations in these new ways. And one of the best ways to do it is to talk to other marketers and just continue to talk and find new ideas. Come to an event like The Gathering, hear how other organizations that are targeting similar audiences are doing it, and trying to create that community for them.
So with that, how much a part of your team building strategy involves finding, nurturing, and supporting A-player young marketers because what better perspective, right? And so tell me about your team and how have you established your approach for building the team, managing, empowering, motivating?
One thing core to our mission are these human relationships, these life-changing relationships. Again, it's not just the young person who experiences this change. I'm a living proof that it's also the adult, those adult mentors, those bigs in our organization. So when looking for a team member, the core of our mission are those stories of impact. And storytelling gets thrown around. It's a big word, like, oh yeah, we're storytelling's at our core, but we actually have the stories of real people. And so bringing those to life. So the first thing I'm always looking for are great storytellers. It was a passion that I had initially in my career. And so now looking at those great storytellers and having those diverse backgrounds. So storytelling's most important, but again, having individuals that align with the audiences that we're targeting are very important. And I'd say, one benefit is that we actually have AmeriCorps Vistas, who are young people. It comes through the AmeriCorps program, and so we've been able to hire individuals that are in this generation, right? They're 19, 20, 21 years old, and the program at its core is generating experience. And so that's been really wonderful for us. We've actually focused them on our social media channels. And so, we've been able to, launch our TikTok account, our profile. It's a key part of the current campaign that we're running. And we've been able to just, create new content, and it's a perspective that they're able to bring to the table that myself, I wouldn't be able to. And so it's great to have a team that is kind of living and breathing those activities and events that are our core audiences every day too.
That's awesome. It's really interesting when you can join a brand, an organization where day one, minute one, the vision and the purpose is real and palpable. A lot of times marketers need to be indoctrinated into that over 90 days because they don't quite understand it. So what is having immediate resonance of the vision and the purpose do for marketing functions?
Yeah. So, with Big Brothers Big Sisters, it was founded in 1904 by a clerk of court in New York City. His name was Ernest Coulter, and he saw, again, 1904, he saw kids coming through the children's court every day, and he thought, these aren't bad kids. These kids are going to belong in a courtroom. They just need a caring, positive adult mentor. So he got a group of friends, and he said, hey, we're all going to start recruiting. We're going to start mentoring a young person in our community, and that was the beginning of Big Brothers Big Sisters. So it was founded as an innovative alternative to the juvenile justice system. And so since our founding, the principles of justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion have been core to our mission, right? It's not something that's new that we've just started in the last 10 years. It's always been there as a part of our DNA. So to your point, it's great when you have that because you keep coming back to it. And then you can look at our mentorship mission and say, what does it do? The things that mentorship does, it creates access for young people. And so from a marketing perspective, we amplify these stories and we look at how can we take young people. We have a great group of corporate partners, a great portfolio who support the mission and believe in mentorship. And what we're able to do is then create these experiences for young people. So a couple weeks ago, we partner with iHeart. iHeart Media is one of our really great partners, and the iHeart Music Festival took place in Las Vegas. And so we were able, through our partnership with iHeart, to bring Bigs and Littles to the event. And Bigs and Littles got the opportunity to go behind the scenes. They got to have a college and career. Yeah, they got to have a kind of a career shadowing experience. Last year at the Super Bowl, we were on Radio Row thanks to our partnership with the NFL Inspire Change Initiative. You're able to see Bigs and Littles who are shadowing, NFL legends who are promoting the work of Big Brothers Big Sisters and mentorship, but they're following them around Radio Row. Specifically, they were with Nate Burleson, who's an NFL legend, is CBS news anchor, and they were able to follow Nate around on Radio Row and kind of get that experience. And it was just, a really great experience. So from a marketing perspective, we get to amplify these stories of life-changing impact, but we're able to do it in a way where we can also, bring together the community, our village of supporters, and help them amplify it. And along the way, we get to tell these impactful stories, and most importantly, reinforce the importance of mentorship and getting caring adults involved to become volunteers.
It's so cool when your content generation is happening every minute, every day organically. It's about curation, distribution, mobilization at that point where not every brand has that opportunity.
No. We just launched a national brand campaign just last month, so we're 1 month in.
Okay.
Hopefully you don't see too many gray hairs on my head, but we're really excited. The campaign we created, we dug in because our audiences are unique. We of course, you've heard me talk a lot about volunteers. We need volunteers to step up and become mentors in their community, become those bigs. But we also we have donors. We need support. Our mission is 100% free to the families and the youth that we serve, because we think mentorship should be free and accessible to everybody. So the support for donors is incredibly important. But as we started to look in, you also just need supporters, right? There's more things to support Big Brothers Big Sisters other than volunteering and donating. And so we really dug in because we thought, we're a 120-year-old organization next year. Let's look at our alumni. There's Bigs and Littles going through our program. We talk about needing more mentors. You think of all the Littles, just the Littles alone who have gone through our program. So we dug in, and there's an estimated 20 million alumni and champions of our mission across the United States. And so we set out and we did really comprehensive research on the group. And our driving, our kind of guiding light was that right now 1 in 3 kids in America say they're growing up without a caring adult mentor. So that it's millions. Yeah. So we got to find a group of millions to offset that, right, and to end this mentorship gap. So we set out, we did research on our potential volunteers, potential donors, and our alumni. And what we found was within our alumni, 85%, Bigs and Littles, say that the mission changed their life for the better. So we have this group of high affinity, mission-driven individuals that have a high regard for the work that we do. So we set out, we did a little bit more digging in that research, and what we found was that there was a barrier to getting involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters. There's actually 2. And the first is this barrier of time. I have family, work, social life, all of these reasons that I don't have time to be a mentor. The other barrier that we identified was this, what we call the burden of mentorship. And it's that I don't have superhero powers. I'm not skilled in some specialty. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. These were real responses that we were hearing from our potential, from our target audience. So when I say target, these are the individuals we want, and that were the perceptions that they had. So we set out to create a campaign that lowered the barrier and really contextualized what it takes to be a great mentor. Because at the end of the day, we know the best mentors are those who are persistent and present.
Right.
And so we created a campaign. We teamed up with Dentsu Creative, and we created a campaign called It Takes Little to Be Big. And those simple words are our platform, our rallying cry. And what got us really excited was it was something that it was so simple. You just shook your head when you heard it.
It's so simple.
It takes little to be big. And for us, it's been a great response. First and foremost, we had to make sure our local agencies were on board with it, that it was something that they felt that they could, utilize and find value in their communities, and they did. And then our corporate partners, right? They start finding lanes. So we have partners like Macy's and Express, Merrill, start finding lanes where they can own It Takes Little to Be Big in their space. So it's a campaign that launched. It just launched last month. Really happy with the results we're seeing so far. But what's really exciting is that this is not a campaign that has an end date. It's,
right.
This is
Evergreen.
It Takes a Little Big, evergreen. It's a platform that we can now just build off.
So what you guys did there is amazing. Simple in statement, but very complicated in getting to that, and very thorough and diligent. But what you've established is something that is what otherwise could be complex, simplified, and gives lots of opportunities to monetize and mobilize through that, to build the resources required to impact change.
It worked for every audience. So for our volunteers, hey, it's not like you feel like you don't have time, but the truth is it doesn't take much to make a difference.
Right.
For our donors, hey, this is an opportunity for you to support mentorship, support young people. Maybe you can't be a volunteer, maybe you don't have the time, but just a little investment can go a really long way for young people in your community. For our alumni, come back and tell your story. We have a user-generated campaign that's a part of it, and what we're doing is asking our alumni, bigs and littles, to not share their whole experience. Just tell us the little things that happened, the little things that your mentors instilled in you. A moment, maybe it was pizza, that conversation you had over pizza at a pizza parlor. Yeah. Maybe it was 30 minutes over a cup of coffee, playing chess at the park. But it was these everyday moments that had an impact on you, both big and little. Share those with us. And I think what the wonderful build has been for us is that everybody has a mentorship story. So whether you were a big or a little, you and I, everybody here, are the product of mentorship. And so how can we contextualize mentorship so everybody shares their story? And that's why we're kind of celebrating it, a million little moments, because everybody has one of those moments.
Well, now what that does too is it drops the burden of mentorship, because it's not, I'm not Nate Burleson, so I can't be a big.
No.
But I'm Tom, who's a construction worker. He can be a big.
Yeah.
It's these mini moments.
Yeah, and maybe Tom's experience as a construction worker is exactly what a young person needs to see to know. I want to unlock that passion to be a construction worker.
Got it.
And so that's the ripple effect that just continues.
Yeah, that's all. So I'm going to bring it back to Big Brothers, Big Sisters, how folks can get involved. There's a lot of different ways, I imagine. Before I do that, I want to know from you, what have you learned about yourself as a marketing leader over the past almost 6 years? What is something that has evolved and is tangible, is palpable?
Mm-hmm. You can't be a marketing leader in a silo or in a vacuum.
Okay.
And you have to tap into every resource you have. Marketing is an interesting industry, right? Because everybody that we're with, our community, the public, we're all absorbed with marketing, right? So there's even marketing opinions that you're gonna hear opinions whether you want to or not. So I think the most important thing is identify those voices that you need to be hearing, that you need to be tapping into, and I feel like in my role, I'm very lucky because I have a great staff around me. Our president and CEO, Artis Stevens, is a former chief marketing officer, award-winning chief marketing officer. So I have that mentor built in already within our organization. Our local agencies, there's 230 of them across the country. Some of the leaders have been in these roles for 20 years. I'm tapping into their expertise, to their advice. They have marketing leaders. I'm tapping into theirs. We convene a group across Big Brothers Big Sisters of just marketing leaders, and together we work collaboratively to identify how we can evolve the mission. And then another important group is our national board of directors at Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. There's wonderful marketing leaders who are a part of it, and I can tap into those again as another set of mentors, but also another group that's just invested in advancing the mission of Big Brothers Big Sisters because they believe in Big Brothers Big Sisters.
But in coming into the posting, did you believe you needed to do it all on your own, or was this a realization that you had over time? Like, man, I've got a stacked team of experience, support, and mentorship around me. Was that a realization halfway through?
It was a build. It actually happened as soon as I started here. It was, almost 6 years ago, and I started Big Brothers Big Sisters. And the organization at the time was in need of some rejuvenation. One of the first things that I was tasked with was to rebrand the organization. I say I think that was the last time I used the word I. Like, I'm responsible for it. Because what I immediately understood was it's one thing for our national office to create a Big Brothers Big Sisters brand, but ultimately it needs to be utilized, adopted, and brought to life in communities across the country. And so worked very closely with several great leaders we have across the country within the Big Brothers Big Sisters network, and we formed an agency task force. And so together with this agency task force, we worked with our marketing agency, Barkley, who was rebranding our organization, and we were able to, under their leadership, advance and create a brand that, you can see my lapel pin, a brand that's resonating today, a brand that we formed a platform, our rebrand formed this platform that now we can launch It Takes Little to Be Big, our national brand campaign off of. But I realized very fast in those early moments, I think I sat down in the chair, as a longtime Big Brother, like a volunteer at the organization, and thought, wow, this is a big seat to now have to rebrand this organization that I've been a part of for so long. And it wasn't until I started getting those meetings with that local marketing task force that we had formed that I felt like we could do it. And I think what's most important is you can be the CMO of the national organization, but when it comes time to present and talk and to share and get others to buy in, bring the group with you, bring the other voices with you, and that's how you can authentically drive change within your organization.
What would you claim to be the hardest part of your job for you personally? It may not be hard for other people, but what do you struggle with the most? In your posting, with your mandate, with your responsibility, in your world, what is just the most difficult thing for you?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest ones, especially when you kind of grow up through the marketing world, when you start as a marketing specialist, as you work through you lead integrated marketing within your organization. I think a big part of it as a CMO is you have to trust your team. You have to trust your group because you did all of those things. You did all of the tactical, those such important steps. And so my mantra when ever entering any kind of marketing project or initiative, any project in general, is to always start at the end. I always like to start at the end and visualize what needs to take place. At the end of It Takes Little to Be Big, we want to have millions of volunteers, alumni, and champions as a part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters mission, right? As part of our addressable audience within our CRM. What are the steps that we have to take to get there?
Right.
And I grew up, I spent my whole career focused on all of those details. The key is now to put the right team in place that really helps hit those details so that you can clear the path for these great marketers that you've brought onto your
So
team
is it when you look inside yourself, is it hard sometimes remembering when you were that individual contributor in a given tactic area, like, I wouldn't do it that way, but I need to buy into the bigger thing here.
Yeah, our mission is mentorship, and so you function as a mentor, not as a separate leader. It's everybody's learning and growing together, and the communication's a two-way street. I'm learning from them, and they're learning from me at the same time. So it's a reminder to keep that balance.
Totally. I'm going to ask you to put yourself on the spot a little bit, and what would you claim to be your superpower as a marketing leader? The thing that maybe others would say about Adam, hey, this is what you can count on with this guy, or that you feel most comfortable going into your day-to-day saying, this is the weapon that I know how to wield the best. It's my superpower.
That's a great question. I don't know if I've been asked that before, Caleb.
I think humility might be one of them.
I was gonna say a saying I love and live by is always assume noble intent. I bring noble intent, and everybody I'm working with. The conversations aren't always rainbows and butterflies, especially in marketing, especially when we're trying to hit goals, especially when there's measurements that are being taken. But I approach every situation with noble intent, and I also assume that anybody I'm working with or collaborating with as well. It's a great breaks down a great barrier. And I often tell people when I'm assembling a team, I'm looking for nice people, because at the end of the day, we're going to spend a lot of time together. We're going to do all those things. We're going to be extended family. We're going to be work families. We have to work together. We have to collaborate together. And you can't have a team if you don't enjoy what you're doing. You're enjoying your mission, but you're also just genuinely enjoying your time together.
That's huge. What do you do, or how do you and your team think about integrating the marketing function across different critical areas of the organization? Because it takes a village, co-create, everyone rolling in this. Easier in theory than in task. How do you facilitate integration?
Integration is critical. Everybody within our organization, it's our job to make sure that they're the best marketers for our mission as possible. So within our national office, there's a very thin line between the marketing department and the fundraising department, because we're all here to advance the mission together. When we launched our national brand campaign, It Takes Little to Be Big, communicating with our staff, the staff outside of our department, our program and impacts team, our finance team, we wanted them to know what this journey was that we were going on. When we first met with our marketing agency, we were turning around and relaying that. And so it's the over communication. It's making sure that they feel like they're a part of this story and that they're a part of this campaign build. I like to share that, we unveiled this campaign to our 230 local agencies back in June of 2023. And in June, we didn't just unveil it on stage at our national conference, 3,000 attendees, which was fun, right? Play a sizzle reel and everybody's pumped up and shooting off cannons, all those kind of things. But what we were doing behind the scenes is we were meeting twice a month. We had these massive webinars open for anybody within our agencies to come, and we could talk to them about the campaign. We could answer their questions. We could provide them with the resources that they need, the tools they need. We did weekly office hours, and it's if you want to engage a group, if you want to empower a group, and if you want to inspire them to come with you, you have to make sure that you're talking to them, that you're explaining, that you're inspiring them to join you. So I think that's critical. The other, and I'll plug, right, is that it's also, so much of marketing is the brand, the visual, the collaterals, is to have a digital asset management platform that everybody can access. And so we have one that everybody can access. And so, before we launched the campaign, I think we had 180 different pieces of collateral. Think of everything that you might need to launch a campaign in your community: social media assets, communication guidelines, assorted banners for your digital experiences. We assembled that, and within 1 month of the campaign, we had 19,000 downloads. And so that's our staff at our national office and our local agencies using the materials, right? But it's because we prepared them, we talked about how to use them, and now they're doing it. And that's a key to launching a campaign nationwide.
That's awesome. Yeah, if given no barriers to activating, people will do it. Why do people not do it? Because there's where do I get the asset from?
That's right.
That's great. And so what they see in this big sizzle reel, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's infrastructure behind it, and that's your mandate.
That's right.
It sounds like you've been doing a heck of a job.
Well, yeah, it's 1 month in, so we're you get excited with the results you first see, and you keep learning. That's right.
So, give us an understanding of just quickly outside of your role, your mandate. Who's Adam? What fills your cup?
Oh gosh,
because that's how you have the energy to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I'm a father to 3 wonderful children, married to a wonderful wife, Robin, and outside of work, I just completely immerse myself into my kids' activities. I coach my son's flag football team, for example.
Nice. Olympic sport, 2028.
Let's go. Yeah, that's right. Kudos to our partners at the NFL who have done just an incredible job advocating to make flag football a sport, because I love most is that you see boys and girls playing flag football, right? And so I could go on and on. But I immerse myself there, and I find mentorship there. I get to spend time. I mean, how lucky am I? I get to spend time with my son and his buddies, right? I get to learn about them. I get to support them. And so just get to enjoy kid activities and play. And
I'm in the same boat. That's it fills your day and fills your cup, right?
That's right.
What would you rather be doing? Not a lot.
No,
right?
No, that's right.
leave you with this, or leave us with this, please. What are you doing to stay sharp as a marketer, as a marketing leader? Is it maybe anything intentional you do with regularity, or maybe a little bit more passively?
Yeah. Again, it's that network I talked about, from our board members to our local leaders, staying in tune, understanding needs, but also, especially when we get to talk to our board members, finding out what's happening in the industries, engaging with our corporate partners, wonderful, talented individuals that we get to partner with, really authentic ways, and understanding what's going on in their spaces. They range from retail to major sports. And then I think the other just really important thing for me is I look around, I see, I watch the news just like everybody else, and what I know is that our mission is a part of the solution in communities across the country,
100%.
Across the world. And so I continue to be inspired, energized, that we can be a part of that solution.
So there's a billion ways to get involved, I'm sure, but what are some of the ways that you'd like to share with us, us being the listeners, myself, anyone here? Now, and I don't know if you can comment on Canada, but for American listeners and visitors, how do you engage?
Yeah, so American listeners, I'll say visit bebignow.org. That is the place where you can find many ways to get involved with Big Brothers, Big Sisters. You can give a little time and become a volunteer. You can share your mentoring story and inspire others to participate in mentorship. You can follow us. You can just join us and be an advocate, and follow us on our social media channels. And one great way to support kids is to just call on support for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. If you're so inspired, you can invest in Big Brothers, Big Sisters through donation. So bebignow.org. Join us. It takes little to be big. And in Canada, search Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Canada. You'll find them. I'm sitting here in Banff. Just a couple hours away is Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Calgary. Across Canada, there's 100 agencies doing great work. So I think 230 agencies in the U.S., 100 in Canada. As organizations, we work really closely together. And again, our core is mentorship. We're all champions of mentorship. So whether in Canada or the United States, find a way to get involved with Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you sharing a little bit of your journey, the way you've established your playbook as a marketing leader. One thing that is a big takeaway for me is that you can be such a better, more effective marketing leader when you live and breathe. If you have the opportunity to live and breathe the purpose and the mission of what you're doing, and keeping that why and establishing that North Star accordingly, you may work for a brand that you don't have the opportunity to get so emotionally attached to it. But if you do, go in deep, because it's sort of established the foundation of your marketing leadership direction.
Yeah, find your passion. If you work for a corporation, for example, you have the opportunity, now more than ever, and employers are listening to their employees, and they want to know what your focus is. And then organizations are turning around, and they're investing in organizations like a Big Brothers, Big Sisters, because their employees are saying it. So never stop pushing for your passion and living your passion, because your work every day can still help fulfill that and pursue it.
That's awesome. Everyone, Adam Vasalio, CMO, Big Brothers, Big